Well, growing up in a vineyard farmed fully organic, it was always the standard, and for us, it's always been about elevation. We produce a true expression of a varietal from a particular place, and to return to that place and do the most ecological justice by it is something of paramount importance to us. So I went to a local high school here in Sonoma County called Summerfield Waldorf School and Farm. It's the only fully functioning biodynamic farm high school in the lower 48. So as I've joined the team, going into what will be my 7th or 8th harvest, we've really returned to our roots, literally and figuratively. We are now pushing our estate vineyard towards fully biodynamic farming, and we're looking at our estate gardens at the tasting room and using that to really push the narrative and show people how serious we are, really being so intense in the vineyard, being at every vine 14, 15 times before they even come in to get harvested and come in to be fermented, that we're dealing with the highest quality ingredients, and we get to keep our hands off of it once it gets in the winery. So we're able to maintain quality agriculturally, and we really are more stewards than we are winemakers. So it's a really, really beautiful benefit to do it, and to do it with two of my best friends, my brother and my father. It's really the best job that there is.
That's a good point. Cooper just touched on something really important, and that is we do as much as we can in the vineyard to do as little as possible inside the winery. And what we mean about that is not neglect, but balanced vines grow balanced grapes, and balanced grapes make balanced wines. And so we put all the effort we can into the vineyard so that when we're pulling those clusters, and we double and triple sort every single cluster, and by farming organically, we're not spraying things into the canopy where the grapes are to manage the pests or any of the disease pressure or things that we have. We're trying to build up the plants so they can do that on their own. Means we get to ferment with native yeast. So on the skins of the grapes are a native yeast strain, and as long as you do the right thing in the vineyard, there's that native flora that can bloom in the fermenter. And it's a slower, longer fermentation using native yeast. It's also one more reflection of the place that the grapes are grown. And terroir is a word that gets bantered around in the wine industry, but to be able to highlight the relationship of the roots and the soil, and look at the soil as the first living thing in the chain, but then realizing once we arrive at the winery, we start all over again. And so to have that native yeast be the foundation for those fermentations, which are transforming that beautiful fruit into the gorgeous wines, then it just ties together. And then we can stay the course, and as long as our sanitation and hygiene in the winery is at the utmost, then we come to a point where no fining or filtration is needed. So if we've had the right size crop on, we're not trying to beat down tannins by fining them at the end. We get silky texture by the ripening because we have the right crop load and healthy vines. And then because we don't have microbial issues, we don't need to sterile filter. I mean, it's not that we plate them and incubate that and make sure that we don't have anything growing in the wine. Before we do it, we don't take risks, but at the same time, we'd like to not manipulate the wines and strip any of that natural character, aromatically, flavor, texturally, from those wines.